The first thing is meeting existing clients and new clients. The second thing I would say is meeting with partners. I think Barcelona is one of the European capital of vacation rentals. There's a lot of services providers that are headquartered here. There are also a lot of them who've got representative office. So it's a good occasion to meet up with everyone, and so always happy to visit Barcelona. So we're a data company focused on providing insights to vacation rental companies. So our core focus is to empower property managers and homeowners in doing better revenue management, better distribution, and strategy decision. So it's not an easy task because, as you know, this market is very fragmented, so it's hard to acquire data. The way we solve it is basically by tracking 26 million listings and aggregating hundreds of thousands of reservations every month so we can provide insights to our clients. Right. So the scaling formula is basically one slide extracted from a presentation we made. The context on this is basically we run a survey every year in Europe called the European Vacation Rental Survey. We ran the last one in 2018. We interviewed more than 500 property managers representing more than 30,000 properties. And one of the things we asked them is, how many properties do you have and how many employees do you have? Very basic questions. And we plot that into a chart, and what we saw is basically there's a trend across Europe. And we discovered, if you want, that basically property managers start off with 2 employees, and then for every 10 new properties that they add 1 more employee, right? So it is a simple way to see if you're aligned with the benchmark, or if you've got maybe understaffed or overstaffed compared to the market. Is basically to use this formula. A lot of property managers are intending to grow, and I think it's an easy way to see, how much it would cost to have this growth in terms of employee, right? One quick point here, it's excluding cleaning staff. That's important to mention. It's a good question. So, we did this report for 2 main reasons. I think the first one is for advocacy. Our industry is very important. There's a lot of regulation, being discussed at the moment. And I think we lack a lot of data so we can have a strong voice and let, decision maker understand the real impact that we have. So I think the first thing we did is partner with many local associations all over Europe to build this report and interview all these property managers so we can speak with one voice, right? So the main one is, say advocacy. The second one, which is also very important, is strategy. We all lack data. It could be service provider, it could be property manager, investors, everyone lacks data. And we want to understand what's happening in the space so we can build better strategy and build our plans around actual facts. So this is the one reason why we run the survey and produce the report. Well, we unveil a lot of trends, but in the report, a few things that stand out was basically, the high reliance on property managers on the main OTAs. Just for example, we unveiled that 30% of reservation from the respondents come from Airbnb, and another 30% come from Booking.com. So a huge share of their reservations come from these 2 OTAs. So we think this reliance on OTA is going to keep growing, and that's one of the trends we've seen. Another trend we've seen that is quite interesting is the technology adoption. So we've asked all the respondents, if they use PMS, which kind of software they use, which kind of technology, keyless entry, all of these different technology. And what we've seen is that actually the technology adoption is quite good. More than 90% of the property managers who've got more than 100 units already use a PMS or channel manager. Which that says is basically our industry is getting more and more sophisticated and very fast. We shouldn't be shy compared to hotels. The hotel took a long time to get where we are now. And one of the trends we see is that it's basically that one. Doesn't mean there is no more room to grow. For instance, we unveiled that 20% of property managers update rate daily. There's a lot of room to grow there, but it's still a good and positive sign. Yeah, it's a tough question, and it obviously changes in every country. And at Transparent, what we always try to do is help the local player with data, so they can, the associations basically can defend their rights and let the politician understand how important our role is in the hospitality space. So we see a lot of regulations, from night caps to limitation. In Madrid recently we had a new law that passed us force people to have a separate entry for the vacation rental if they're in a building. So I don't think this regulation always makes sense, and that's our role to basically provide data, so the local supporters of vacation rental can defend the right the best way.